Get your live music fix with the best of Pearl Jam tribute music. Washed in Black will be performing for one night only, 7 p.m. on August 27th at the Federal Way Performing Arts Center. Experience a tribute to one of the most prolific bands of our time with Seattle's own Washed in Black as they celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the release of 10. Get tickets at fwpaec.org. Thank you to our sponsor, Becker Retirement Group.
The best defense is a good offense. So before the sewer backs up into your home and wreaks havoc, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is there for you when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 15, episode number 3,340. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, Ryan Castle joins us from his basement studio dungeon. Once again, we will sit and spin. We've done Mr., we've done Mrs. and Miss, so today the doctor is in. 10 songs about Dr. Such and Such on the way with Sit and Spin. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, funnable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
The clack, you're gonna draw.
All right, here we go. Rocket blast off to the space station with cosmetics and a $23 million crapper. Meanwhile, a man hires a prostitute who shows up and is his best friend's mom with her snapper. Florida man arrested after assaulting girlfriend with a pizza slice. Meanwhile, 2 Florida men beat up man and steal his prosthetic leg, which is not nice. And a mayor with COVID-19 is elected to his 3rd term, even though he's dead. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right. I know, man. Yelling at the TV, the Ravens did me dirty, bro. And this is my voice today. Sons of bitches. One of the inevitabilities of being a parent, well, it's passing things down to your children. And it might be an inheritance or some kind of heirloom, military medals, a watch, love letters, whatever. Parents also pass down things like, male pattern baldness, unibrows, and buck teeth. And there's not much you can do about the genetic stuff. My son, for example, he has an afro that he just loves. But that party's going to end for him around age 23 when he starts losing his hair. He doesn't know it, but I know it. My father passed down his hatred of pickles and chronic hiccups to me. Thank you, Dad. It happens. But look, no one wants to pass that kind of thing down to the kids, but you can't really do much about it unless you use the services of a sperm bank. After all, sperm banks screen and vet each sperm donor to assure that they have above average physical and intellectual traits. Or at least that's what they tell you. See, in Canada, 7 families are suing a sperm bank after 5 children tested positive for a degenerative nerve disorder, all from the same donor. And they're not alone. In Georgia, a couple is suing a sperm bank for lying about its sperm donors after their kid inherited a serious medical and mental health issue. Seems the donors in this case, in addition to a lengthy criminal record, had also been diagnosed with psychotic schizophrenia. Oopsie doopsie. Well, today, we want to talk about what your parents gave you, whether it was a family recipe, obesity, or mitochondria encephalopathy. Whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents?
Be part of the Big Show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. Text 77999 and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Get your live music fix with the best of Pearl Jam tribute music. Washed in Black will be performing for one night only, 7 p.m. on August 27th at the Federal Way Performing Arts Center. Experience a tribute to one of the most prolific bands of our time with Seattle's own Washed in Black as they celebrate the 30-year anniversary of the release of 10. Get tickets at fwpaec.org. Thank you to our sponsor, Becker Retirement Group.
Is your furnace ready to handle another Pacific Northwest winter? Before the cold weather hits and you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical won't leave you out in the cold. They're on call 24/7. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the shows, and away we go. Welcome to season 15, episode number 3,340 there, partner. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. That is a fact. We've got Ryan Castle joining us. Actually, he won't join us at all. He is still locked up in his basement studio dungeon.
Right.
Last couple weeks on Sit and Spin, we started with Mr. songs. Mr. Crawley, Mr. Brownstone.
We forgot Mr. Roboto. Yeah. We got your complaints.
Mr. Jones from the Counting Crows. And played all the Mr. songs that we could find out there. And then we moved on to Miss and Mrs. songs like Mrs. Robinson.
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
All the Spin Doctor songs you love and hate. But then we realized we hadn't got to the Doctor well.
Yes.
So today we're going to go with 10 songs about Dr. Such and Such. These are all songs that deal with doctors.
There's a very big such and such family.
Yeah, there is. And doctors, as you know, they are very, very important people. If you did not know that.
Just ask them.
Yeah, just ask them. They will tell you. I mean, one of my favorite things when I was running races back in the day was to get to the finish line and hear all the doctors stand around and talk about how great they were and how they just qualified for Boston. So that's, like, not that they want to talk about each other that much, but you know what I mean? The crowd of doctors is like, yeah, man, I jumped off a 700-foot cliff last weekend. What did you do? And you realize these guys are all just doctors.
It means you have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah. But doctors...
Why is that?
Doctors are very important. They really are. I mean, once you get that doctor degree...
To moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, even in school, when you had a doctor as a professor, they wanted you to address them as doctor, whether they were a doctor of history or geology. Whenever you become a doctor,
yeah, but
man,
I feel like the people that want to be called doctor are not medical doctors. They'll be like, I'm your doctor. My name is Sam. You go, cool, Sam. Now, if you have nothing to do with the medical field, right? If you study rocks, I'm Dr. Franklin. Ooh, what kind of doctor? I'm a geologist. And look, I know you're a PhD. I know you're a doctor, but to us regular people, we don't care.
We can split hairs on this. I know a group of doctors that were friends of mine growing up, and they went to med school, and of course it was great because their parents had a lot of money, so when we would go out, they would buy us pitchers of beer, we'd have a good time, throw down, we would get them weed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They would make fun of the dentists. Because they had a couple buddies who were in dental school, and they're like, "Yeah, right, like he's a doctor." I mean, seriously, they look down on dentists. Fry. I think dentists are great. Mike, you go to a chiropractor every once in a while, is that right? Now, my chiropractor wanted to be addressed as doctor. I questioned that in a very Larry David kind of way.
Did he have the certificate on the wall?
Whoa!
No. Not that said you graduated from a school, but because people that have a PhD. They make sure you know they have a PhD. Because if I had a PhD, I would wear a shirt that says, I have an effing PhD.
Right. I think there's only used to be only a couple chiropractic schools in the country. So, but I believe when you're...
But are you a doctor?
I mean, is he a doctor?
He at least gives himself the title of doctor at his own office.
Okay, well, I crack my back every day, 3 or 4 times a day. You see this. Am I a doctor?
It's more about it's more than about cracking the back there, Miles.
All right, well, look,
You can have a practice, but that don't make you a doctor.
Right.
Okay.
Just saying. The head of security in this building refers to Miles and I, most people. Hello, doctor.
We're not
doctors.
Sure, yeah. But anyway,
played one on TV.
I did play one on TV.
No songs about chiropractic care coming up, but we do have 10 songs about doctors and Dr. Such and Such on the way. And today we're going to talk about things, good or bad, that you got from your parents. There's all kinds of things you can get from your parents, from a set of principles on how to live your life, what is right, what is wrong. Some people get inheritance from their parents. Some people do. I've known a lot of people who seemingly have an endless supply of money. And I cannot figure out for the life of me.
You know how.
I know how. But it just seems so weird to me to have money that's not mine. You know what I mean? Like, this is...
I'm okay with that, though.
I know it would be fantastic, but I just have no concept of what it would be like to be like, yeah, well, my dad put $50,000 in my bank account. What? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I get both sides. I don't think you have to, but it probably wouldn't. It'd be nice.
I would be nice. Yeah. My parents have already told me. I mean, when they retired,
they're burning the house down. Basically.
We went to the lawyer, and we're getting all of our affairs in order, which is the parents' way of saying we're projecting our death. And I'm like, well, sure, I get it. And then they explained. I said, well, the financial guy was like, well, what kind of inheritance are you trying to leave for your kids? And my mother explained to me, your father looked him dead in the eye and said, we don't. Apparently the guy chuckled a little bit. My father's face did not break, and he realized, like, you're serious. My father's like, yeah. I'm trying to work out a way. He's like, look, I don't hate my kids. It's not that. But I want to find a way to spend all of my money that I had earned before I die. And me and my brother were like, go ahead. You don't owe us anything.
I told my dad the same thing. He's, it's a weird conversation you have, where you're talking about, well, I'm not around anymore, and blah, blah, blah. Do you want? And I'm like, no. I was like, no, I don't. Like, I'm one of those people, I don't like a lot of crap. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need crap. Like, you know what I mean?
What about his, because you want the Winnebago lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, well, if he had a Winnebago, I might take it.
What is he have?
The last time I was there, he gave me like this mug that I got when I was born, I guess, with a spoon in it. It was all corroded and ugly, and he's like, here, I thought you might want to have this. And I'm looking at this thing that looks like something you buy like in a Hallmark store, you know what I mean? It's one of these trinkets, and I'm like, who in the F wants this?
Nobody.
So I reluctantly took it and put it in my bag, and I came home, and now it's just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, what in the hell is this? It's like a cup with a spoon in it. Does anyone know the symbolism behind this? It was your birth cup and spoon. Well, what the hell's that? You know what I mean? Like, where's my sippy cup? You still
what about, do your parents have, people used to bronze baby shoes?
I have those.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have bronze baby shoes? Or does your mom have them?
She has them.
Would
but
you
you're getting them.
Yeah, the bronze baby shoes, I'd have them.
I feel like that I would take. Like, all right, I mean,
it's like having a couple pictures of you when you're...
Why don't you do that as a Halloween costume? Just, take a pair of old kicks that you don't want anymore, spray paint with gold, put a diaper on, and walk around as Ted Smith.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You know what I mean? Like, you got your bronze baby shoes.
That baby's hairy.
You got a piece of paper with like 2 handprints on it as an adult you.
Pacifier.
Here I am.
I cry a lot.
Yeah.
I'm either drinking, eating, or sleeping.
Nuzzling up to women on the, on their side a little bit.
He just naturally wants your breast.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't speak for the whole night.
No. You just cry and point.
Right.
And then the only word you know is no. No. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
And one knock joke.
Wow, that was a good costume idea.
Why not? So our question today, whether a good thing or a bad thing, as you said, it could be a physical trait that you inherit from one of your parents.
I look like my mom. Her beard's a little longer than mine.
Brother looks like your father, probably.
Brother looks just like my father. And my son looks just like me.
Okay, how about your daughter?
I don't know.
I think she looks like your mom.
Really?
My daughter, my youngest daughter, looks like my mom when they were the same age.
Is that weird, man? Because
it is very strange.
Is she tracking with it? So your daughter's like 20 years old now. Does she look like your mom did when your mom was 20?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When you look at pictures of my mom had me when she was 20. So I've got pictures in my home of me and my mother when I was a kid, and I look at them and I'm like, my God, that looks like my kid.
That is weird.
And they both have addressed that. They both talk to each other about it without me even bringing it up.
Now, what is your daughter's thoughts on it? Because your daughter can look at your mom. Now, she won't say it out loud, but she's making an honest assessment of where her life's headed.
Well, I mean,
oh my God.
As far as
I'm going to have saggy elbows. I mean,
well, I don't know about the physical aspect of it. I'm more concerned of the mental state behind it. My daughter is much more sharp. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And no disrespect to my mom. I love her to death. But my God, sometimes I have a conversation with her. I'm like, how in the hell did I even make it?
Right.
My mom was so goddamn dumb when I was little. All right. Okay. This is no lie.
That sounds like an autobiography.
And this is kind of weird.
My mom was so goddamn dumb by Miles Montgomery.
Yeah, right. In a Kevin Bacon kind of way, with Carnation being up the road, not too far away. My mom didn't know any better, so she, for the first 7-8 months of my life, she fed me Carnation instant milk.
All right.
Which has no nutrients in it whatsoever. So typically when you give a baby...
that explains a lot about you.
Yeah, some types of formula like Similac, or not Similac.
Yeah, Similac.
Similac, and there's another major one. I can't remember what the hell it's called. But either way, it has a lot of stuff in it. Like nutrients. And
okay,
protein.
Now look, I did not know either. I did not know. And right before my kid was born, first one.
Ephamil, or is that the other
Ephamil,
one?
yeah.
Ephamil.
We were at, Babies R or someplace that I never want to be
This crap
again.
ain't cheap either.
But I was grabbing jars of baby food. And my wife's like, well, what is that for? And I'm like, the goddamn baby. I'm like, the hell else? And I'm pointing at the list of Gerber. You know, and I'm like, see that baby? I'm like, they eat this. She's like, oh my God. She's like, not when they're first born. I'm like, I'm sorry, what now? She's like, dude, it's baby food. You need to learn the difference between infant, baby, toddler, child, and there's one other stupid ass one in there somewhere. I didn't know.
My mom's.
In your mom's defense, it's hard to find. Like, it's much easier when you were born. It wasn't like she could hop on the web and look up. What had the most
exactly. And my grandparents came to visit my mom. And my father at the time, when they were living in an apartment complex in Huntington, West Virginia, they were both going to Marshall University. And my grandfather walks in, and there is a box of Carnation instant milk on the counter. My grandfather's first thought was, we need to get Murray some money. She's not doing very well. So my grandmother pulls my mom aside and says, hey, you doing okay? Because you're drinking instant milk, and this is not, we'll give you money so you can go out and, buy real milk. And my mom's like, I'm fine. I'd feed this to the kid. And my grandmother, who's a nurse, about loses her goddamn mind. Right. She loses it. Because here I am, like, at this point, 6 months old. I'm almost close to being ready for, Gerber food and all that stuff. And she's like, no wonder this kid is so skinny and just, blank stare in his eyes and drools and is stupid. Because you haven't given him, he drinks like a box of this crap a day because he's not getting any nutrients. You say he makes a messy diaper. Well, no wonder. You know what I mean? He's blowing powder out his butt. Right. Like 8 times a day. So it's not that I don't love my mom. I'm just glad that my daughter's got a little bit better head on her shoulder.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I was at least like a regular sized child by the time I got on instant breakfast.
Right. Exactly. So
cream of wheat to instant breakfast.
There you go. Bam.
Here's a doozy. A couple in Atlanta have accused a sperm bank of misrepresenting its process for screening donors and providing incorrect medical and educational history of a donor they selected, and they can proceed with a lawsuit against the sperm bank, according to a high court there in Georgia. Judge has dismissed all but one of the claims against a lawsuit that the Normans has filed against the sperm bank, Zytex Corporation.
Zytex.
Normans bought...
You need sperm? We got sperm. Come down to Zytex.
They bought sperm from Zytex. I wonder how much sperm costs. Like, if I want to go in the bank and just say, hey, man, give me a vial of it. They go, what do you need it for? I'm like, I'm going to put it in a milkshake. How much is it going to cost me?
It's a good question. How much is sperm?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Well, Wendy Norman gave birth to a son in 2002. As the boy got older, the Normans discovered he had inherited serious medical and mental health problems, some requiring multiple hospitalizations. The Normans sued the company, the medical director. The lawsuit seeks damages, alleged fraud, negligent representation, whatever. The donor, number 9623.
Oh, you should have known.
Was promoted as one of its best donors, a PhD candidate with an IQ of 160.
What, 160?
With a clean mental health history and no criminal record. But later they discovered that was not true. The donor had lied and had actually been hospitalized repeatedly for diagnosed mental health problems, including psychotic schizophrenia.
Jesus.
He also had been arrested for burglary and other crimes, had no college degree at the time the Normans bought the sperm, according to the suit.
So wait a minute, they're saying the donor lied.
The donor lied.
So the sperm bank is going to take your word for who and how and what you are. So I walked to the sperm bank, and they're like, well, somebody's interested in the sperm, what should I tell them? Even though I'm black, tell them I'm a white guy. Just got right down, there. I'm a white guy, I'm 5'8", but I have a 170 IQ. And they just say, what, okay?
I don't know.
What is your vetting process?
I never
it's
thought...
It's tougher now.
Right, I mean, I'm sure the donor lied. I lied to get a job, but you can still verify things.
Yeah, I would assume that you'd walk in there and, like, here's a doctor from Stanford.
Right.
Here, here's John. He digs ditches. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with digging ditches. I'm just saying, if you're going for the sperm, you're probably going to go for somebody smarter than you.
It's the sales pitch.
Right. No, you're right. Like, I'm looking up one, and it's like, you can only be 18 to 39. You got to pass a physical exam. So you're right. Like, how... Maybe he did all that.
Ted, 18 to 39. You got 2 months to get it done,
bro.
Man. Get on this.
I'm gonna say,
get on this.
Like, I'm going to have to keep this job now.
I mean, that's serious. Even within my own circle of friends and associates and people that I've known throughout my lifetime.
Yeah.
There is no one that I know, that I'm friends with, that I would feel qualified with to use their sperm to have my child?
Absolutely not.
I don't have any friends that are really good looking, really smart, really successful. It's not that they don't have one or two qualities, maybe. Two would be a lot. But for the most part, like...
But successful.
None of you guys. I mean, we're not taking any of each other's sperm, right? I mean, hell no.
Not for that.
No.
Ted, you've got better looking friends than the rest of us. Maybe you have one or two
Birds.
Like one of your
I'm your buddy
friends, one of
Burrs.
your guys you grew
Yeah,
up
but his
with.
wife makes more than he does.
But he's a good looking. He's so good looking
guy.
that he doesn't even have to make.
He did go to Hopkins.
Right.
Yeah, right. This is on paper,
He's a
man.
good looking dude who went to Hopkins.
On paper, this is pretty strong. This
Look,
is
Tom
pretty strong for
Brady's
TV.
wife makes more than him. I'm
Fair,
taking the
fair.
sperm. Come on, Tom Brady's sperm. I'm taking it.
Tom
Brady's
taking the
over
NFL.
40.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, what about Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, man, because he can't win.
All right, well, look, he can win if he looks like that. It just depends on what game he's playing.
Right.
Well, the one that counted.
Yeah, you would probably take Sherman then.
Actually, he went to Stanford.
I know. He's got
Physically
Stanford
an impressive
education.
man.
Absolutely.
Physically impressive,
Right.
huge penis,
Yeah.
graduated from
I
Stanford.
mean, that's why I'm thinking about Nick Foles now, man. Maybe I just get the kid with the
Huey Lewis.
Yeah, right. I'm going to find the biggest hog donor I can find. My kid's going to walk around and people are going to just gape with.
What if you have a daughter? Her clitoris is huge.
Oh, no.
You tried your best.
I'm not even sure that I can think of who I would want to donate on that end either.
That's like you don't know what you're getting, man.
Apparently this couple did not. Our question, whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents? 206-421-ROCK.
When the hot water needs to be hot, when the drain needs to drain, when the toilet needs to flush, you need to do two things. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. On call and there when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net. Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
Must be 21. Please enjoy responsibly.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
BJ and Nick's doing a hell of a lot of good. They've teamed up with the fine folks at Mary's Place for Kicks for Kids to make sure the kids in need get a brand new pair of sneakers to call their very own. And Mary's Place will take all those donations. Kids get to pick out the shoe they want. So it's a very cool thing, man.
My parents really never gave me that up. They said, here are the shoes we bought for you.
Cold weather's coming, and these kids are in a tough spot, and they need your help. Kicks for Kids, head to KISW.com. By the way, Thursday is Kicks for Kids Day, but go there to KISW.com. Donate what you can today, and then those guys are going to have a final push and try to get as much money as they can from Mary's Place on Thursday, starting Thursday morning, right here on KISW. All right, question, whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Shane. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's it going, guys?
Still good, Shane?
No, good. Hey, quick, I just want to give a shout out to my mom. I know she's listening in her office right now. She always keeps 99.9 on, so.
Your mom's cool.
Is she working? Does she work in a strip club?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
In a doctor's office.
Oh, the doctors. It comes full circle.
My bad.
Which doctor?
So close. I'm sure that's fun for the people in the waiting room.
Yes. You're going to die. I want Tom Brady's sperm.
I'm going to put my finger, you know where. Get up here, Mrs. Johnson. You're next.
Yeah, my story is about a physical trait, but I guess you could say I inherited my love of rock from her for sure, 100%. My dad hates rock, and she just loves it all the way. So.
What does your father? What does he listen to?
Well, he's more of a classic kind of. I grew up. He listened to like Stevie Ray, but mostly country. You know.
All right.
So.
Okay.
Well, look. I mean, I think a lot of people get a lot of their music taste from their parents. Not all, but there's a lot of things.
It
that
took
you
me a
grow up
while to
listening
catch up because I had Stevie Wonder, Lou Roll. Basically, if you were black and sang about sex, that's what I grew up hearing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then I didn't want to hear it anymore, so I fall into rock. Now that I'm older, I want to hear old black people sing about sex.
Put on an Al Wilson.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, my story is about I inherited my height from my dad. I'm 6'8".
Jesus.
And yeah, I know. And I get all the. Do you play basketball? I hit my head on everything, but I just had a kid, and he's 6 months, and he's in the 99th percentile for his height. So I've passed it on now down to my son.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: what are your concerns with that? And I don't necessarily mean physical concerns, but like, I'm not as tall as you, but there was a point when I hit my growth spurt, my parents started hemorrhaging money to buy me clothes that fit, or the shoes, or all that kind of thing.
I cannot keep up with his clothes right now. It is insane. He's supposed to be, he's 6 months old. He's already wearing 12-month clothes.
Jesus, well, especially when those are the days of onesies. The foot's kind of hard in. Like if you get longer, you're not going to fit.
He's going to grow out of onesies before he's old enough.
All right, Shane, you're 6'8". I got to ask you a couple of just stereotypical questions. Can you dunk a basketball?
Yeah, in high school, I definitely could. I'm not as limber as I used to be, so I'm definitely not going to go out there and do it right if you ask me to.
Can you sit on a coach seat in an airplane comfortably?
Hell no.
Not even close, because your knees got to be
close.
What about the emergency aisle?
Maybe.
It buys you like another 2 inches anyway.
So if we're flying, you're flying first class?
I've never flown first class because I'm not that privileged.
I get you.
So yeah, no, movie theaters suck. I hate them. And I took a 5-hour flight to Hawaii, and I thought they were going to fall off. Okay.
What about, is there, what vehicle? Go and take a ride in your buddy's car? You know what I mean?
He pulls up in a Ford Focus.
Yeah, he's got a Miata. What car can you not fit in? Obviously, a smart car is not going to be easy.
We used to have a company rig, and it was a Ford Ranger, and I would have to drive parts around all day, and my knees were slammed into the dash, and it was all the way back.
Okay. What about your bed? I'm assuming you have a king-size bed?
Oh, you know it.
Okay.
But you still have to, sleep diagonally or sleep in a fetal position to fit, right?
No, I barely squeeze in there. If I scoot up just 2 inches, my feet are hanging off the bed.
But, I'll say I'm 6'4". I got a king, and I'm surprised when I can reach the end of the bed.
Okay, what about shoes? What size shoe do you wear, Shane?
I wear a 14.
Okay, all right. What are you going, the Nordstrom Rack?
No, it's mostly online. It's been my whole life. My mom has had to buy my jeans online, my shoes, everything.
At what age? Because 13 is the standard cutoff for most places that you go to buy shoes. So at what age did you hit where it's like, we got to spend the extra money on the special orders?
I'm going to say that was around my teens, so around 13. Yeah.
Look, I just I pulled a new pair of shoes out of the box today. I put them on today. They're 13s. They look ridiculously big in the box. How big are... when I put them on my feet, they look normal. But how big do those things look when you get them new? Because, the ones in the Nordstrom Rack, first of all, they're god-awful ugly.
Yeah.
And secondly, they're mostly basketball shoes.
But I've never seen them in the box.
Basketball shoes.
Your shoe box has to look like a small coffin.
We were just talking about this the other day, actually. We said, well, if I wear a 14, how big is my actual foot? We measured it. My foot is exactly 1 foot. It's a foot.
Interesting.
So tip of the big toe to the heel?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Literally a foot.
And what else? What else has been one of those things in your life where you thought to yourself, it's not good to be 6'8"? What other things were
hitting my head easily? I hit my head on everything, and I just tell people all the time, you know what? You say you want to be this tall, but you hit your head on the chandelier every day.
And you don't want to be that tall. That's the thing. When you go to a hotel, every shower head basically is aimed right below your nipples.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, could you join the military?
I tried, and they were going to let me in, but I just kind of reversed course.
Because, you're the biggest guy out there. I'm thinking to myself,
it depends what part of the military.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't put you on a sub.
Well, no, I was going to say...
You couldn't be a fighter pilot.
No, you definitely could not be in the Navy. You could not be on the ship. I've taken 3 or 4 different tours of aircraft carriers, of battleships. Once you start going down those steps, even me at 6 feet, I had to watch. And they have everything taped up on the pipes and everything else, but you have to keep your head low. Because
they told me that instantly. They said, you better learn how to duck walk. They call it duck walk. They said, you better learn how to duck walk real good because you're too tall.
If I'm your recruiter, I just would have told you, look, son, I appreciate your interest, but there's a good chance you get shot first.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the thing. It's 6'8".
Right.
I don't know if I want this guy on my squad.
No, I don't either. As I'm saying,
I feel bad for him.
You're going to get it's like the slow deer.
Can you even find a sleeping bag that fits your ass?
Oh, hell no. I'd poke... that sleeping bag goes up to my belly button.
Okay, all right. Jesus Christ.
So it looks like you're doing a potato sack.
Okay, all right, here's another one for you, okay? Sometimes, I love getting on roller coasters and riding them, but I always double-check the harness, make sure I'm not too, this is not going to slip or anything like that.
I don't want to die.
I know for a fact that, it wouldn't fit you the same way it would fit me. So can you get on those rides?
What I worry about with the roller coasters is hitting my head on just like a random bar and just getting decapitated.
Usually, think about it. At the end of almost every roller coaster ride, when you kind of pull back into the terminal, there's a one last dip, but it's always like that's the lowest part.
Right.
And I always think I'm going to get my head torn off. If I'm you, there's no chance I'm getting on there.
No, I avoid them like the plague.
And your dad is also 6'8"?
My dad is 6'4". He claims that he shrunk from 6'6" to 6'4", but I'm not buying it.
Well, your spine compresses over time. If he's in his 70s, he's probably not lying.
How tall is your wife? Because a lot of listeners are asking me to ask you.
Oh man, I don't know her exact height, but her head comes up to my nipples, and that's got to be a good 1.5 feet. I mean, she's 5 something, low
Shane,
5.
that's got to be very, very convenient for suckling.
Oh yes, I picked them short. You know what I mean?
So when
they're all kind of short when you're 6'8".
When you look at your wife, you really only see the top of her head.
Oh yeah, I could look standing in like chest to chest and not know where she's at.
Damn,
golly.
Wow. Okay. So 6'8".
That's up there.
I would not want to be that tall.
It's almost too tall.
Yeah.
Like I'm 6'4". I feel like that's good. People still say you're tall, and I guess maybe, but
4 inches taller than that.
Right. That's ridiculous at that point. Because nothing is convenient. Nothing is built for you that you didn't pay extra money to be built for you.
But if someone
even when he dies, think about it. Even when he dies, if he's going to be buried and they need to buy a coffin, they're going to have to buy a specially made coffin. Okay, you don't fit 6'8".
You're going through puberty, and someone says, "Would you like to be 6'8"? Would you take it?
Oh, puberty? Hell yeah!
7th grade you.
I wouldn't have.
Really?
I think I would.
I don't like being short, but like, say maybe college football used to have a video game. I was always 6'2", 220.
All right.
Well, that's okay.
So that's what size you want to be ideally?
6'2", I feel like is a nice size height.
It is. Okay. That's a decent.
I mean, first of all, just having the 6 in front's a massive thing for ladies. But dude, trust me, it is. Like nobody on their dating profile goes 6 feet and under.
Right.
Well,
right.
You see two different sides of it. I've seen women who are taller, and they've personally told me they like men who are taller than they are because just the appeal of it. And then I also know a couple taller women who exclusively date very, very short guys.
We have a friend that lives in Arizona now. Met her here in Seattle. She's maybe 6'1" or 6'2". Saw her very recently, and I asked her, and she is definitively tall. And when she met me, long story short, first day of school, she's one of the moms. She says, "Hey, how are you?" It's kindergarten years ago. So I said, "I am effing hungover, but it's not the worst one I've had." From that moment, she liked me and said, "My husband would love you because you seem like an honest guy." I'm like, all right. I made her husband is maybe 5'7". And I mean, it's no big deal.
It's not what you were expecting.
I did not expect it at all. So when I met him and I see him standing next to her, I'm like, well, that must be another friend of hers. That can't be her husband. She's like, it's my husband. I'm like, good golly. And he has that little gleam in his eye. Like, so when you meet him, guys understand what this is. I don't know if women understand when guys do this, but there's this instant we look at each other and it's already understood. Basically, he's saying, I love taller women and it's as awesome as you think. That's right, but it's about the time that you say,
I had a 3 serious girlfriends, and 2 of them were at least my height, if not almost taller. So if they wore heels, they were taller. But then...
And you like heels.
I do. I never mind it. You're not going to hold hands as much because
you got to gimp it up. You got to CeeLo it and kind of crimp it.
Oh no, that's a bad look.
But I told you, for like I went out with a girl.
Like you're escorting her down the aisle.
Yeah, I went out with a girl for like a month that was 5'11", and every time I came back to the table, somebody was hitting on her.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, right, I'm 5'9". She would wear heels, too, so then she's however tall.
Mm-hmm. Whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Stephen. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, welcome. Hola.
Hola.
Welcome from Lakewood. And as a radio vet of 40 years, thank you for being local and staying here.
40 years?
You worked in radio for 40 years and didn't get fired.
Hey, I didn't get rich.
You're a miracle. You're a human miracle. What radio stations you work for?
Oh, where do I begin? Well, the competition, and then Moses Lake.
We're not in competition with anyone. Just beat their ass.
It doesn't matter. You can tell us what radio station.
There is no competition. There is no goddamn competition.
The one thing about radio.
I must sound like the old guy. Get off my lawn. I grew up when I knew. You guys discovered AC/DC. One of those guys.
Okay.
Long story short is that what was the most amazing thing in all my travels was that I was not to have children, and that when we did, we were put as a pedestal. There was no way we were supposed to have kids. And
was this like the company mandate or something? Like, hey, you're one of our cool jocks. Don't get all stupid and become a parent.
Jawohl, Herr Kommandant. No, it was the amazing thing was that we had this baby, and I was a huge fan of this young kid after she grew up. At the same time, my kid grew up as Scarlett Johansson. And one day we were at Easter, and if you put Scarlett Johansson, say lost in translation.
All right.
Until when we knew, a lot of people would be suspect about that. But hey, we got relatives, and that's what they're my backup. Long story short, it's just a remarkable thing, and you guys were talking about having amazing things, and I'm adopted. I don't know where my family came from.
Have you ever taken the time to try to find out, or anything like what is it, Heredity.com or Ancestry.com, one of those deals?
You know what I did?
I don't know.
That, and it came back. Well.
That your parents were carnies? You're not from this planet. We can find no DNA.
That came back with kids.
Okay. All right. Are you confused, Ted?
Yes. I'm very confused.
I'm a little confused myself.
I'm not. So, what was the Scarlett Johansson thing exactly?
I don't know. I thought I was going down a weird road. I couldn't really pick up on it.
Does this kid look like Scarlett Johansson? He likes Scarlett Johansson. He found out he's related to Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think he's related. I think he was trying to say she looked like Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
But then it seemed like...
Mike, what was your...
It seemed like we were going down a path of him saying he finds Scarlett Johansson attractive.
What was the short version of that story before that went on the air to kind of bring it in for us?
Basically, his daughter inherited good looks that made her look somewhat like Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay, well, see, I've never want to have the conversation where I'll say, like, I've always found Beyonce very attractive, sexy. I mean, just the sexiest woman ever. My daughter looks like her. Like, to me, that's not a comfortable statement.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I felt bad just saying it then. Everything about that.
I get where he was coming from, but it seemed like that's why I was like, we were all looking at you. I was like, this is getting strange.
Yeah, I love my daughters. They're both beautiful in my world, but I don't look at them like that.
But there's a difference between beautiful and then comparing them to a sex symbol.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even with like when I went down to visit my daughter at San Diego. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about San Diego, but not a lot of ugly people there.
Good God, there are not.
All right,
not until you get there.
And Ted, you would sprain your neck if you walked the campus of San Diego State University. I mean, it's just like a tennis match. I mean, you just be whipping your head around. But even then. Oh, checking out some of the moms.
Well, we're at that age.
Right, exactly. I'm like, hey, look at that. Because
they got a tab for it,
my
bro.
daughter's
Don't feel
friends
bad.
are my daughter's friends. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to their conversations.
Right, that just, oh my God.
I mean, like, you don't realize, it's almost like you're listening to two 9-year-olds talk. You know what I mean? There's nothing about that to me that seems remote.
It is agonizing.
It is.
I can say that. I can't explain it. But if my daughter has a friend over and I can just overhear their conversation, I'm like, I'm actually going to jam Q-tips in my ears.
My daughter's latest one is, all men suck. All men suck. I'm like, hey. Maybe the choice in the men that you like suck. How about that?
I mean, that's
you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the truth.
All men do not suck, but it seems to me that the men that you are interested apparently make you think that all men suck. So
that's all right.
That's not on them.
I'm already telling my daughter, no, all men suck. You're right. Every one of them.
All men suck. I'm like, maybe it's your choice in men that suck.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how that goes.
Right, exactly.
Everyone I dated was a bitch.
Look,
yeah, well, okay.
I'm not the great at the match game either, but hey. Whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
So, what I inherited, unfortunately from my dad's side, is alcoholism.
All right. Oh, all right. Yeah. Now, is this something that you were told about throughout your life?
Yes.
And it manifested, or what?
Yeah, I was warned about it, but I dabbled, and, it was about 8 years until I was like, oh, I have a problem. So, that was about, I would say 8 months ago, but still bouncing back from it.
Okay. You doing okay, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, my liver's getting a little better by the day.
Well,
but,
okay,
So is this medical?
Yeah,
the doctor said, hey, man, you need to stop.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. It got pretty bad, so I went into the hospital because of pain in my liver area, and they were saying that your liver's shutting down. So that's what it took for me to finally quit drinking.
How much?
That should do it. That should be the magic pill.
If you don't mind me asking, how much were you drinking a day?
It's at the tail end, which is like maybe, I would say about 8 months, it was a fifth a day.
A fifth a day.
Wow.
And you're functioning, and you're working, and you're taking care of your responsibilities through all this.
For sure. Absolutely. Nobody knew. I thought nobody knew, but I mean, I still think nobody knew. But
Well, see, that's the thing about alcoholism versus a drunk. You call a person a drunk because they're visibly drunk. Alcoholic, you're like, I think they might be drunk, but I'm watching them perform this task that they do every day.
What time in the morning would you have your first drink?
It would be, I'd wake up feeling like crap. I'd start drinking around 8 o'clock, and then throughout the day, I'd stop about 7 o'clock at night or whenever I'd fall asleep. But it was throughout the day.
Okay. And were you working during this time?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, yes.
Do you think that any of your coworkers had any idea?
Well, a couple of the coworkers did say, oh, Sam's drinking again, or things like that, but I'd play it off like, yeah, I just had way too much last night.
Okay.
But
it never resulted in you losing your job or getting in trouble at work.
Not at all. Not at all. Customers, I hit it pretty well. I did a trick, which I thought was genius, but I drive around with a jar of peanut butter and take scoops of peanut butter before I talk to anybody.
Well, peanut butter just sounds delicious.
Yeah,
but
really
at
does.
that point, you know you have a problem. That's why I got to cover my breath.
No,
that should be the moment you go like, why am I stuffing peanut butter in my mouth?
What was your drink of choice to cover? Vodka?
It was vodka. Yeah, vodka I thought was the easiest to hide.
Agreed.
But now when I smell vodka on somebody else, I'm like, whoa, man, that guy's drunk.
But you didn't know that you smelled like that.
I didn't think I did. No, I had plenty of cologne on and plenty of peanut butter in my mouth. Thought I was good.
And were you successful at sales?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was, I got
Of course. He's a drunk dude. You got liquid courage. Hell yeah.
What's the biggest deal you made money-wise while you were hammered?
In my industry, I make pretty well. I sold a lot, but it was a full track of a certain product that I sold, and it was about 300 in this certain property, 300 of those, and it was over 125. But I would say I had blown over twice over at that point.
Okay, let me ask you the standard questions that everybody asks about this type of situation.
Right.
When you stopped drinking, did you lose weight?
Oh, by far, especially my face. My face got super slim. I didn't realize how bloated I was, but I'm back to 165 now, and I was pushing 210 at that point.
Jesus, man.
Okay, so all you did, you keep the same diet. You don't do anything differently. You don't work out.
Nothing different.
You just don't drink anymore.
This is good news
I eat
for
a lot
drunk, overweight people.
Yes.
Because instead of going on a diet, right,
You can
or
still keep on eating.
just stop drinking for a while and let the weight melt away.
Okay, all right. That's crazy.
Yes, if you're going to be big, I hope you're
Hey,
drunk,
congratulations, man.
too. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, that was very good. All right, our question, whether a good thing or a bad thing, what did you get or inherit from your parents? 206-421-ROCK.
On Pod Save the World, we want to be your cheat sheet for global events. My name is Tommy Vitor, and each week, my co-host Ben Rhodes and I break down the biggest stories from around the world. Ben and I both worked on President Obama's national security staff, and we'll introduce you to the activists, politicians, and journalists who can help us understand what's going on around the world, what it means for the United States, and what it's like being inside the White House Situation Room during a crisis. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods.